I heard you got too lit last night.
What is the deal, beautiful people? My name is Ramon. This is Lifestyles Defined. And on this channel, we talk about photography, our favorite hobby, all day, every day. Today's video is an AMA, and if you're new here, you're not sure how this works, you ask your question in the comment section down below, and we answer it in upcoming videos. Today's question: I've never used a camera before except the one on my phone, but I would like to take some quality pictures. Fair enough. Mostly outside in rainy weather. Any suggestion? I have no clue, and there are things you could do with the Fuji X-T2 look endless. Would rather have everything on auto and still get amazing pictures. What should this newbie do? Well, I think this is the title here is I want to buy a camera, but is the FujiFilm X-T2 too much? This is an interesting question. Most people in this boat usually come with a budget. So what I'm sensing from the person who asked this question is money's not an object. So I have to adjust the way I answer this question. First off, I have a few points here. I think the X-T2 is a monster camera for a beginner. I don't say that in a good way, and I don't say it in a bad way. I think looking at the X-T2, it's a very intimidating camera. It's top of the line build. It's all metal. It's weather sealed. There's a million dials. It's black. It looks intimidating. However, that is something I could equate to maybe a Lamborghini. You know, you just got some money. You're 25 years old. You never drove a race car in your life, but you just looked at this Lambo and you're like, God damn, I just have to have it. There's this feeling of invincibility when you're in this car. I think the Fuji to a beginner can also instill that feeling of invincibility, of I belong, I'm a photographer, I'm gonna go out here and get some great images. Look at my camera's so serious. But most importantly to that point, I think the Fuji X-T2, although it should be considered a serious camera, it is a camera that you can grow with. And as you come into your creativity, as you come into the technical aspect of photography, this camera can cater to all of that. Versus what someone would recommend you go out and get a Canon SLR or X-T2, or T5i or something. Those cameras have ceilings, and depending on how hard you go, you hit those ceilings, you have to now turn around and start looking again into new cameras and new systems and whatnot. And that's depending, right? You may buy this camera and you may never hit the ceiling of this camera because the ceiling is so high. But if money is no object, I think it's an amazing camera. It is one that will grow and will absolutely grow with you as a photographer and a creative. To your point about leaving the camera on auto and getting great pictures, I like this as an approach to a beginner. You know, oftentimes in photography, we send beginners, we set them up for failure, and a much needed failure. And what I mean by that is we send them to buy a $500 camera to dip their toe in the pool. And these cameras have real limitations. And the auto modes suck. They're not the most intelligent cameras. And then people they get put off because no matter how much you tell someone as a beginner, get you an SLR, take it off of auto, learn manual, they're not going to do it. They're going to start with auto. And the auto on these lower tier cameras just suck. And they're going to get put off and I don't know. Here with the X-T2, you go out with that camera on auto, you are going to get some amazing shots. And what I like about this approach is it takes you away from the technical aspect of the camera and focus you on the technical aspect of creativity. You shouldn't be worrying about you know, your aperture, your shutter, ISO triangle, you know, fuck all that. What you should be worried about is your storytelling. Understand how to place yourself as a photographer in the middle of a story unfolding so you can capture it and let the camera do its job. You should be worried about composition. Maybe the story isn't as strong, but you find a way to dial in and understand composition and tell the story. So I like this approach of him knowing that, hey, I'm not going to be getting into all of this madness. I just want auto mode, and I want a camera that's going to do a good job of it. Yes, the X-T2 will be that for you. Coming from a smartphone world where there's so many different apps, the main app you'll probably be using anyway is Instagram. There's a buttload of filters. Then there's all these different editing softwares, VSCO Cam, Snapseed, Lightroom. All these is filters. And sure, you get accustomed to that, and that no doubt you're going to want to do that. But what I can say is, coming from that world, which is really where he is, shooting with the X-T2, they have some of the best filters in the business. They don't call them filters, they call them film simulations. And you should definitely look into that. The black and white ones are out of this world. There's some very good vintage ones. Well, technically they're all vintage. So Fuji painstakingly reenacts the film stuff. Their film, because you know Fuji used to make actual film, so they've put a lot of that color grading and adding grain to the digital image to make it look exactly like the real film image. I think you'll really enjoy that, even as a beginner. Coming back to the monster camera with these intimidating dials, what I like about the Fuji is, as you push your creativity and you grow with the camera and you want to experiment, you know, you start off with shutter priority, aperture priority, and these things will come to you what they mean. I think the Fuji is, with the physical dials, is probably the best camera on the market to really grow with you. And as you start to use these dials, you will appreciate having all of these different camera functions represented on a physical button. You know, this is something where you, and this is not a make it or break it thing, because you could have easily done this with a 5D, a Canon 5D Mark IV, or a Sony a7 II or a7 III. But what you learn, if you were to learn on those systems, you know, they have these I would say smartphone like buttons, and functions are actually assigned to those buttons. And you could learn there just as you could learn on the X-T2, but then maybe someday you go out and a friend has an X-T2 and you go, what are these dials? And you go, wait a minute, hold on. You mean that this button that I had to press on my current camera and then scroll is actually just on a physical dial I could turn? Whoa, that's dope. That's something that you will come to appreciate as you push your creativity and you get out of that auto mode. So there's another plus toward the X-T2. Long story short, budget is no issue. The X-T2 is absolutely a dope camera for a beginner. I wouldn't say it's a great camera for beginner, because the way I would teach personally is I would guide you toward the mistakes. I would guide you toward a camera system to present to you a low ceiling so that you can hit it and appreciate it. But hey man, some people got it just like that, and I think the Fuji can definitely, the X-T2 can definitely be a dope camera for a beginner. But you guys, hit the comment section below. Let me know if I'm out of my mind. Is there any more advice you would give to this person? Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We got plenty more content coming. Speaking of, here are 2 videos that you might enjoy. My name is Ramon, and I'm out of here. Peace.